Hello, my name is Thomas Jett, and I am a student with Texas A&M University Central Texas. Today, I will be going over my compliance training design, which will cover the design choice, the outline for the training, discrimination types, learning objectives, learning characteristics, learning theories, learner engagement, learner preferences, the evaluation, and answer any questions you have. My design choice includes the group size, which is going to be 30 trainees. We'll break down the groups into 6 groups of 5. We'll have a blended mix of management and frontline employees sitting together. That way, there is no separation of management and frontline employees. Media that we'll be utilizing will include a PowerPoint presentation, videos regarding discrimination, and a pre- and post-test. The purpose of having an outline is to structure the design of the training. We will start the training at 9 a.m. to cover the learning objectives, introductions for the trainees and trainer. We'll do the pre-test assessment, which we'll allocate approximately 30 minutes for. After the pre-test, we'll take a 15-minute break. Then we'll cover 2 areas of discrimination. The first area at 10:15 will be gender discrimination. The second area of discrimination will be racial discrimination. At 12 o'clock, we'll take a 1-hour lunch break. At 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock, we'll go into the final 2 areas of discrimination that we'll cover. 1 o'clock being disability discrimination, and 2 o'clock age discrimination. At 3 o'clock, we'll take the post-test assessment, and that should take approximately 30 minutes, but we'll allocate an hour for it. At 4 o'clock, we will do the survey for the classroom survey, and finally, we'll wrap up at 4:30. There are many types of workplace discrimination. However, this training will focus on 4 specific types of workplace discrimination. Those include gender discrimination, age discrimination, disability discrimination, and race discrimination. Every training should have learning objectives to determine what successful transfer training looks like. The learning objectives for this course will be to identify what discrimination is, understanding the importance of anti-discrimination laws, the repercussions for failing to adhering to anti-discrimination laws, who is required to follow anti-discrimination laws, and how discrimination can impact employees and an organization as a whole. To maximize the positive transfer of training, trainability, motivation, ability, and perception of the work environment are 4 training characteristics that should be considered. Concerning the discrimination training design, trainability is essential for human resources development. The employee must be motivated to do well and learn the material presented. Without motivation, there will not be a transfer of learning, and the money, time, and effort spent on the training will be wasted. Trainees must also have the ability to learn. Without ability, the length of the training period and expenses related to the training could be extended. If the trainee lacks ability, it could be possible that the transfer of learning never occurs. Finally, there is a perception of the work environment or how the trainees perceive the training. The training could either be perceived as a compliance training or an opportunity for the individual to get a better understanding of the topic and how it relates to the organization. The preference is the latter. Guéné's learning theory. Guéné's learning theory of instruction, which focuses on the kinds of things people learn and how they learn them. Guéné's theory argues that there are many ways to learn and no one way is better than the other. The 2 main components of Guéné's theory of instruction are taxonomy of learning outcomes, what is being learned, and the techniques needed to teach them. According to Guéné's theory, human performance is divided into 5 categories. The 5 categories are verbal information, intellectual skills, cognitive strategies, attitudes, and motor skills. Verbal information, which involves the ability to state or declare something such as a fact or an idea, is a human performance needed for transfer training. Being able to recite and memorize the laws and regulations as well as conceptualize how it relates to discrimination is the objective of this training. Learner engagement. This training will be classified as classroom training, which is conducted outside the normal work setting. The lecture approach and the discussion method will be utilized to enhance learner engagement. The lecture method involves the oral presentation of information by a subject matter expert to a group of listeners. The lecture method is considered an effective way of transmitting factual information to a large group of individuals in a short period of time. The lecture method will allow the subject matter expert the ability to lecture the attendees and transmit the necessary information needed for transfer training. One drawback of the lecture method is that it emphasizes one-way communication. To mitigate this, I will also implement the discussion method into the training design. Cobb identifies the following 4 learning styles: divergent, assimilation, convergent, and accommodative. Assimilation defined as a combination of abstract conceptualizations and reflective observations, thinking and watching, that stresses inductive reasoning, the integration of disparate observations into an explanation, and the creation of theoretical models. Assimilation is the most appropriate learning style for this type of training. Trainees will be thinking and watching the trainer, as well as interacting throughout the training to enhance positive transfer of training. Finally, we have evaluation. I will evaluate this training based on a summative assessment consisting of a comprehensive test administered before, a pre-test, and after the employee attends the training, the post-test. Also, a survey will be distributed to determine the training effectiveness and employee attitudes towards the training before its conclusion. The pre- and post-test will consist of the same questions to accurately measure the employee's knowledge gained. The employees will not be made aware of the fact that both tests will include the same questions to ensure they do not attempt to memorize the questions. According to Kirkpatrick's evaluation framework, training evaluation is measured according to reaction, learning, behavior, and results. Reaction level 1 identifies whether or not the trainees enjoy the training. Reaction will be measured with the end of course survey. Learning level 2 will determine if the trainees retain and learn the learning objectives of the training program. Learning will be measured by the post-test. Behavior, does the trainee use what is learned back on the job? Behavior will be measured by the reduction of discrimination claims within the organization. And finally, we have results level 4, did the training improve the organization's effectiveness? Results will also be measured by the reduction of discrimination claims within the organization.